Good day to you, everybody all over the world. Today's video is the concluding part of the understanding of Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. I've made two videos to explain the identities in that Bible verse. So today's video wants to explain to us, he will bruise you in the heel, you will bruise him in the head. Who will bruise who? First of all, let's get to know the meaning of that English word, bruise. According to Google, bruises are caused by impact of a blow to the skin. The point we want to get there is, before there is a bruise, there is an impact, like a hit. Please, first of all, let me briefly explain something about this wild beast to you. When the Bible uses the word wild beast, it means a constituted authority that have little respect for human life. Just the way we have wild animal in the bush that doesn't respect human life or respect life. They devour. If a person or a constituted authority is identified as wild beast, then it will have a significant name or a specific name. If this same wild beast have heads, it also means it have like branches. So each head we have different names, but all of these names, if put together, must give you the actual name or that single name the whole wild beast have. If it have horn or horns, it signifies that these branches or these heads, like they have fruits. So the number of fruits each head have, that is like what it's mean. So each horn will have its own name. But when you put it together, it must also be in union with the actual name of that wild beast. Then, if it have crown, that signifies that that wild beast is a king. In our previous video, we have explained that we have a wild beast called dragon. The dragon is Satan. In the last videos too, we have explained that we have a wild beast whose name is the seed of the serpent, and its actual name is human government or human world ruler. So today too, in today's video, we want to look at who will bruise your head, who will bruise your heel. Let me read this Bible verse because it has something important to say about the seed of the woman. I want to quickly read Revelation chapter 5 and verse 6. It says, "And I looked, and behold, in the midst of the throne and of the four living creatures, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as though had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 Spirits of God, sent out into all the earth." If you are wondering who this lamb represents, then let me read verse 4 and 5. It reads, "So I wept much, because no one was found worthy to open and read the scroll, or look at it. But one of the others said to me, 'Do not weep. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has prevailed to open the scrolls and to loose its 7 seals.'" So Christ is that Lion of the tribe of Judah, the roots of the family of David. He is identified as having 7 horns, Remember, a lamb, a head, but 7 horns and 7 eyes. Now let's put it together. I'll use each seed of the serpent versus each horn of the seed of the woman, Christ. Then we'll get the actual message in the latter part of Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. The first head, Egypt, was being bruised by Christ. Horn 1, eyes 1, the seed of the woman. Then Egypt ceased to exist as number one ruler or number one citizen of the world. Head 2, that was Mesopotamia, Assyria. The horn carrying the crown, Assyria, was being bruised by the same seed of the woman. Then Assyria ceased to exist as number one citizen of the earth. The same thing happened the third time, Babylon. The seed of the woman bruised Babylon. Babylon also ceased to continue existing as number one citizen of the world. Number 4, Media and Persia. The Persians too were being bruised in the head by the seed of the woman, Christ. They ceased to continue existing as number one citizen. Then, moving on, Greece, they were also bruised by the seed of the woman. Then, after Greece comes the sixth king, Italy or Rome. Rome bruised the seed of the woman, Christ, in the heel, because he died, he came back to life, and he appeared to humans that, see, I come back from death. Because he recovered, his own bruise is said to be the bruise in the heel. So with that, we can say we've gotten the actual message in the latter part. The seed of the woman will be the one to bruise the seed of the serpent in the head. Why the seed of the serpent will be the one who bruise the seed of the woman in the heel? Well, it remained one horn of the seed of the woman and one eye. It also remained one head of the seed of the serpent. Now, this seventh head, the Bible mentioned that it will rule for a short while. Then another king will take over. But wait, let me read Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. Daniel chapter 8, verse 25 read, through his calling, he shall cause deceit to prosper under his rule, and shall exalt himself in his heart. He shall destroy many in their prosperity. He shall ever rise against the prince of princes, but it shall be broken without human hand. That king, Rome, will rise against the prince of princes. Yes, he definitely do. Then he succeed. He bruised him in the heel. But the latter part said, but it shall be broken without human hands or human means. So the rulership of Rome will not be attacked before he ceased to exist as number one citizen. There will be a reason for it. I want to couple what will happen to the sixth king, the seventh king, and the new king, which will take over from the seventh king together. Remember, the horn of that seed of the woman, Christ, remain one. One horn, one eyes. I want to read Revelation chapter 17, verse 9 to 11. Now, follow it. Here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. There are also 7 kings. 5 have fallen. 1 is, and the other has not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short time. The beast that was and is not is himself also the 8th and is of the seven and is going into perdition. This Bible verse I've just read begins with, here is the mind which has wisdom, not human wisdom, but wisdom that comes from God. First of all, let me mention to you the wild beast in the book of Revelation. Then we use that to get the understanding of this Bible verse. We have 5 wild beasts in the book of Revelation. The first one is the dragon. The second one is the seed of the dragon. His name is Human King. The third one is the eighth king. The fourth one is the two-horned wild beast, while the fifth one is the imaged wild beast. Now, when we read this place, if you follow verse 11, it says, the beast that was and is not, is himself also hate. So, if the beast that was and is not is eighth, then therefore the one that was shall be the seventh king. But now is not. Is not there means is not the eighth king. But then how are they interwoven? Verse 12. Let me read. It says, the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as king with the beast. Which beast? That was the wild beast that was. They receive authority to rule for 1 hour with the seventh king. Let me re-explain that place. The seventh king I mentioned to you was Hion, and his name is the Great Britain and America. These two, which are Hion, are also present in the eighth king. That is why it was, but it's not. So the seventh king is not actually the same as the eighth king, but it's present in the rulership of the eighth king. It still remains the iron, the strongest in the eighth king. So this eighth king comprises of iron and clay. So 8 other kingdom, powerful kingdom, will rule with this iron. So making 10. Revelation chapter 17 verse 12 mentioned. So then the iron-like head will have his own crown. Both party, United States and England, will have their own crown, which we are going to look up to them as number 1 citizen. Then these 8 other kingdoms too will have their own crown. We will see them as strong kingdoms too. But just the way iron is stronger than clay, they will not be as strong and powerful as the king the Bible called Iron. So, if we want to take a look at the eighth king, it's different. The eighth king have 7 heads, 10 on, 10 crown. Let me read to you where you can easily get the appearance of the eighth king. Revelation chapter 13 from verse 1. It reads, then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his head a blasphemous name. Now, the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear, his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and great authority. So, just the way the dragon gave his throne to the seventh king, which they use from Ed 1 to Ed 7. So, this time, the dragon gave his throne to the eighth king. So, these 10 kings will use it. So you can see now that there is difference between the seventh king and the eighth king. The seventh king have 7 crowns. The eighth king have 10 crowns. Let me continue with the explanation. Verse 13 said, "These are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. This will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them. For he is the Lord of lords and Kings of kings, and those who are with him are called chosen and faithful." The eighth king will be the last versus, who is to face the last and the seventh head of the seed of the woman and his eyes, will be the eighth king. So this is to tell us that in the eighth king, we'll have the sixth king, we'll have the seventh king, we'll have and 7 other powerful kingdoms to join them. All of these kings will be who the seed of the woman will come the 7th time to bruise their head at once, all together. There is a Bible verse that easily explains that. Let me read it to you. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. I'll read from verse 42 to verse 44. Now it reads, "And as the toes of the feet were partly of iron and partly of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly fragile. And as you saw iron mixed with ceramic clay, they will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not adhere to one another, just as iron does not mix with clay. And in the days of these kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. It shall break in pieces and consume all this kingdom, and it shall stand forever." Let me read verse 45. "Inasmuch as you saw that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hand, and it shall break in pieces the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God has made known to the king what will come to pass after this. The dream is certain and the interpretation is sure." If you note verse 44, it begins with "in the days of these kings." This king, plural of items, more than one. And when you note towards the end of that verse 44, it says, "It shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdom." All these kingdom. Plural of items, more than 2. So when Revelation was talking about them to be 10, they are actually 10. They are more than 2. So to break and consume all of them, then it itself will now stand. I think now you get the actual message. But before I go, I want to tell you what the next video will be, because it is very much interesting. I have explained now 3 wild beasts in the book of Revelation. It remains 2. It remains the 2-horned wild beast, and it remained the imaged wild beast. So the next video, we want to tell us what does this wild beast actually is.